test. Family and friends, please start making your way to the tent so that we can welcome our graduate class of 2026. Welcome to Commencement 2026, everyone. Please take your seats so that we can welcome the graduates of the class of 2026. Please take your seats. families and friends of the graduating class of 2026, please clear the aisles and take your seats. The procession is approaching. Our procession of the graduates of 2026 is approaching. Please take your seats and clear the aisles.
Graduates, please remain standing for the singing of our school song, Light the Way.
Between the quiet Rio Grande and the glowing sandias, red and black unite you and me. We'll follow the path, leave our legacy. Go Chargers, keep pursuing knowledge for the sake of doing. Wisdom, conviction, compassion. This is our mission, charge and vision. Light the way academy.
Everyone, please be seated. On behalf of the Board of Trustees, faculty, and staff, I am delighted to welcome you to Albuquerque Academy's 67th commencement. Albuquerque Academy sits on the traditional homelands of the Tewa, which contain the Sandia and Isleta Pueblos. These pueblos are sovereign tribal nations whose heritages and vibrant living cultures persevere. We recognize this land as sacred, and we pledge to be good stewards of the land as we work towards making history that honors our community and those that came before us. To the class, to the class of 2026, your families, our faculty and staff, and all who carry this community forward, welcome to this moment of celebration, reflection, yes, some deep breaths, and maybe a few tissues. Today's joyous ceremony honors our graduates for successfully completing the requirements of an academy diploma, where, over the past 7 years, you have learned how to read closely, listen carefully, communicate clearly, and embrace complexity, how to think critically and creatively, to be agile and resourceful in the face of uncertainty, and how to put words into action, engage, and challenge the status quo. And along the way, you've picked up some less traditional skills as well, skills that may not appear on your transcripts, but certainly have left a mark. For example, there are 174 of you in the senior class, and yet somehow, some way, you managed to use 331 parking spaces at the same time. It's like a logistical magic trick. 1 car, 3 spots, 0 apologies. And of course, how can we forget the great homecoming parking debacle? I know how smart you are. Truly, I do. I have heard you contrast the existentialism of Nietzsche with Confucian philosophy with staggering authority. I have watched you solve incredibly complex math problems with an agility that makes my head spin. And yet, for all that brain power, you somehow haven't quite mastered the ability of parking a car in such a way that you or anyone else can actually get out. It took Mr. Kim over an hour to untangle that logjam of vehicles you created in the dirt lot last fall. It was a masterpiece of gridlock, but don't worry. We didn't mention your lack of street smarts and common sense to your colleges or universities. You're welcome. Every year, one of my favorite things to do is take a closer look at the senior class, not just your academic records or college lists, but the things you've done when no one was keeping score. Because this class is remarkable. You are scholars and scientists, artists and athletes, builders and caregivers, leaders and dreamers. And so as we celebrate your graduation today, let's take a moment to celebrate you with just a few fun facts that capture the extraordinary range of what you've accomplished during your time at the Academy. Since the 9th grade, your collective resume is striking. You have enrolled in 543 AP courses, another 479 advanced courses. You've helped win 28 state championships in athletics. You have taken home additional state titles in DECA, Science Olympiad, Speech and a Debate, and Mock Trial. You have served as captains, presidents, and founders and earned countless scholastic art and writing gold and silver keys. But beyond the trophies, I asked College Guidance Office for one fun fact about every single person in these risers. What stands out is first your intellectual curiosity, the way you pursue ideas far beyond the classroom. We have a student who taught himself to play the harpsichord, another one who taught himself advanced STEM concepts in the East Mountains. One of you modeled nuclear reactor systems in Los Alamos and almost didn't come back to school because the research was too much fun. We have a graduate who held an actual human brain during neuroscience research and concluded that all human knowledge is in there. We just have to unlock it. Whether it's reading a book from every country on earth or exploring the intersection of film theory and political philosophy, your minds never stop. For this class, curiosity always leads to action. We have a student who rebuilt a 1978 Camaro by watching YouTube videos, and another who restored the 1970 Mustang the same way. You are a class of hustlers in the best sense. From the graduate who refurbished and sold $20,000 worth of textbooks to the one, there's lots of good stuff coming, to the one who buys land plots in Rio Rancho as a licensed realtor. Okay, we're good? You have founded nonprofits that teach gardening to local youth, provide backpacks for foster children, and supply medication to those in need. One of you even created an automatic barbecue winch because, why not? Your passions are as diverse as they are intense. We have nationally competitive equestrians, sponsored enduro mountain bike racers, and a student on her way to a pilot's license. We have a regional gymnastics champion, a U.S. national karate team member, and a student who balanced figure skating with competitive weightlifting. One of you even joined the football team as a senior and became a starter, while another survived a terrible knee injury to help found and lead our cheer squad. The artistry under this tent is breathtaking. We have an all-star guitar ensemble performer, a drummer for an all-girl screamo metal band, and a student who trained for 5 months to perform a 2-hour solo dance recital. From traditional Indian Kathak dance to Santa Fe opera performances, you have filled our halls with music and light. We have pottery artists, horror film directors, and a student who finds calm by playing the trumpet when life gets stressful. He's so devoted that his face is actually on the pep band t-shirts. Beyond these facts are stories of incredible character. This class includes a student who will be the first in their family to graduate from a U.S. university. And another who moved 7 times before the age of 10. We have a graduate who spent summers learning 4 different languages, a student who interviewed strangers in New York City subway for the New York Times, and a mayordomo who helps his community manage local irrigation ditches. You have earned Boy Scout Eagle Awards and Girl Scout Gold Awards for your dedication in leadership. And whether it was balancing 2 jobs while leading Huerza and the SDLC, or working 30 hours a week while maintaining the grades of a Davis Scholar, your work ethic is legendary. Finally, you are students who simply make this place better. You are the lifeguards, the CPR trainers, the Special Olympic volunteers, and the secret academy mascot. You are the student who tailors his own clothes, the one grows his own garden, and the one who plans to install a clock at the center of campus so we're never late again. And my favorite fun fact of all, which is actually a repeat from last year, one of you, yet again, cleverly used the school's address to avoid personal junk mail. You have always been each other's greatest teachers. The list could go on, it should go on, but what matters most is that as a class, you've shown us that excellence doesn't come in one form. While every graduating class holds a special place in my heart, yours is, well, it's a little extra special. This has been an incredibly heavy year. We lost 2 students in our community, including one of your own classmates in September. It's times like these, students usually look to adults for strength, but this year we found ourselves looking to you. To be honest, you were almost too good. You were gentle with us. You weren't combative. You weren't even engaging in normal teenage behavior for the most part. I kept waiting for someone to organize a senior prank involving goats or chickens, or stage a demonstration calling out our inability to stock enough forks during lunch. Okay, maybe I wanted you to stage such a demonstration, but I know it's not a great look to organize a boycott against yourself. But I digress a bit. You saw that we were hurting. You sensed the faculty and staff were carrying a weight, and you stepped up, not with noise, but with kindness. You went out of your way to say thank you when you didn't have to. You treated us with grace that most people don't find until they are decades older. So today, as we send you off, we don't just celebrate what you have achieved, we applaud the way you have gone about it, with courage, conviction, and a profound sense of compassion. Class of 2026, you are among the Academy's very best. You are healers and builders, athletes and scholars, pilots and poets. But more than that, you are the class that looked after us when we needed it the most. We are so incredibly proud of you. Congratulations. Okay. In August, we kicked off the Academy's 70th year with convocation. And graduation isn't just a ceremony. It's a moment of transition, of change, a line in the sand between what was and what's next. And like all moments of change, it's layered. We feel pride and joy, sadness and relief, and maybe even a little panic when someone realizes they left their cap in the car. In August, we kicked off the Academy's 70th year with convocation. And for those of you who were there, you'll remember that I decided to mark the occasion by hosting my own personal version of Coachella at 8 o'clock in the morning. Now, here's what I learned. First, playing electric guitar and drums at 8 a.m. is objectively good for my soul, though I'm still waiting for the data to come back on whether or not it was good for your ears. Second, nothing makes a person feel the rhythm of time quite like watching a group of Gen Z students listen to Bill Haley's classic 1955 track, Rock Around the Clock, with the same polite confusion they might give to the sight of a rotary phone attached to a kitchen wall. So there I was on convocation morning, banging on the drums, believing I was a rock star. I am a puente, you know. Talking about how music marks time, and it does. But as I've reflected on our 70th anniversary throughout the year, I realized that I may have leaned too hard on the idea of a timeline. We like timelines because they are neat. They suggest that tradition is a relay race where we pass a baton that looks exactly the same from one hand to the next. We treat tradition like it's a monument, static, heavy, and etched in stone. But that simply isn't true. Not here at the Academy, not in your lives, and certainly not in the images we are about to see. If we look closely, we see that tradition is actually quite elusive. It's a shapeshifter. We think we're doing what we've always done, but the what and the how are constantly slipping through our fingers. We say it with such conviction. This is how we do it at the Academy. It sounds steady, but the truth is, we all have a knack for remembering things a bit differently than they might have actually occurred. Take, for example, the trees. I've been here long enough to speak to hundreds of alumni, and if I had $1 for every alum who looked me in the eye and told me that their specific class planted the trees along the main path, I'd be able to fund the next 70 years myself. It's a beautiful sentiment, but there's a slight mathematical problem. That path was originally a road, and those trees are at least 50 years old. If you are an Academy alum sitting here under the age of 60, and I'm looking at most of you, I have some difficult news. You didn't plant the trees. At best, your class might have planted some trees, perhaps a modest shrub, more likely a very determined bush. But in the grand nostalgic theater of our minds, those seeds we planted in the earth during our time at the Academy become 50-foot cottonwoods the moment we graduate. We take a small, current moment and we graft it onto the old tradition because we want to feel like we're part of the original blueprint. But our archives tell a different story. They show us that tradition is often just the latest version of a work in progress. Look at this. This is 1968. This is the main path, except as you can see, it's a main road leading to campus. There is no shade. There are no Academy vibes. It was built for cars, not for contemplation. If you were a student then, this was your tradition. This was the way it was, and the way it was always going to be. And here is the path taken from that same angle as the 1968 picture you just saw. To us, this is the real Academy. But this version only exists because the people who came before us weren't afraid to get rid of the road. They didn't preserve the tradition of the 1960s. They replaced it. They planted those trees because they realized the way we do things needed to change. And it worked. It worked so well that now we can't even imagine it being any other way. Once we allow the story of those legendary trees the freedom to shift ever so slightly in our minds, we can free ourselves to engage with a myriad of stories from our past to allow a better understanding of our present. So let's go back to when this campus was first built. Here is a photo of the original groundbreaking, shovels in the dirt, very official. But to really understand how elusive tradition is, you have to see the campus from the air. Now, look at this. This is the 1960s. This is the Academy and Albuquerque. And this is what it looked like. It's practically a frontier outpost. You can see the quad taking shape, and over here you can see the then faculty and now senior lot. And I bet $1 million that those cars are not supposed to be parked there. It's comforting to know that even when the school was just buildings in a field, Academy students were already pioneering the tradition of creative parking. Now look at the difference. When you stand on the quad today, it feels like this was the plan all along. But when that first aerial photo was taken, Sims Library didn't exist. The science building wasn't a sketch, and West Campus wasn't a dream yet. The people holding shovels in that first photo weren't protecting the campus we have now. They couldn't have even imagined it. They weren't staying loyal to a finished product. They were just starting a conversation. Every building you've studied in, every field you've played on, exists because someone eventually said, the way we've always done it isn't enough anymore. They didn't worship the old blueprint. Their dreams for our school outgrew it. And if you want the ultimate proof that we weren't afraid to change the script, you just have to look at how we've completely reimagined our footprint. Take, for example, the pool. For decades, this was the epicenter of Academy Aquatics. This was the way we did it. It was where generations of chargers gasped for air, during butterfly laps and celebrated state titles. To those students, that room was the swimming tradition. It was permanent. But then the school's needs changed. We needed a larger pool and a world-class strength conditioning center. So we did the most academy thing possible. We drained the water, leveled the floor, and moved in the bench presses and squat racks. Think about the irony the next time you're in there. The very spot where a student in 1985 was exploding off the blocks is now the spot where you're hitting a personal best on a deadlift. If you're a student today, you don't walk in the weight room and think, I'm currently standing in the deep end. You think, I'm here to lift. We didn't lose the tradition of that space. We just gave it a new soul. And of course, we didn't just abandon swimming. We built this, the new natatorium, a facility so spectacular that the original students and faculty from 1955 could not have ever imagined it. We didn't keep the old pool just because that's how we've always done it. We realized that to honor the standard of our programs, the physical tradition had to evolve. We turned a pool into a weight room so that we could turn a dream into this new aquatic center. We kept the foundation, but we completely changed the view. Now, it's easy to look at buildings and say, of course things change. You need more space, you just buy more bricks. That's just construction. But the most elusive traditions aren't made of cinder blocks. They're made of high expectations. They are the unwritten rules of how we show up and who we are allowed to be. And if you think the buildings have changed, you should take a look at the academy culture. In the early 1970s, the academy underwent its most important renovation. It stopped being a school for 12 boys in a basement and became a school for everyone. But even then, we were still trying to figure out the tradition. Take the dress code, for example. When girls first arrived, there was a very specific, very rigid idea of what an academy student looked like. It was a time of blazers, specific skirt lengths, and a lot of rules about what was appropriate. We had a tradition of formality that we thought was the secret sauce of our academic success. And today, we have this. We say, cover this, but we'll accept that. As you can see by this stick figure wearing a box, we have evolved, I think. We've moved from you must wear this specific blazer to be a scholar to please just ensure your clothing covers, well, something. But my favorite examples of elusive tradition aren't the ones the board voted on or the ones the architects designed. They are the ones that you invented. We often think traditions are ancient rituals passed down by our founders, but sometimes a tradition is just a prank that took hold. At some point in the 1980s, the senior class decided to play a joke on the head of school during commencement. Do not get any ideas. As each student walked across the stage to receive their diplomas, they subtly pressed a penny into his hand. By the end of the ceremony, his pockets were heavy, and everyone in attendance was confused, and a new academy tradition was born. The tradition wasn't the penny itself. It was the spirit of the exchange. It was a way for the senior class to say, we're leaving, but we're leaving a piece of us behind. And every class since then has taken that spirit and made it their own. In my time here, I've been handed everything from silk flowers and Lego bricks to delicately folded paper cranes, tiny plastic ducks, and miniature trolls. If you ask a graduate from 1989 why they were handing over pennies, they'd say, because that's what we do. And if you ask the class of 2025 why they were handing out trolls, they'd say the same thing. The object changes every year, but the connection remains the same. The tradition is elusive, but the ethos is permanent. And I have to admit, I am genuinely excited to see what you all have hidden up your sleeves to hand me this morning. But perhaps the most surprising thing about tradition is that it isn't just about moving forward. It's about the way the past keeps showing up in the present. We think of then and now as two different worlds, but at the Academy, they are often the same people. Take a look at these faces. Before they were your teachers, your coaches, or your mentors, they were you. Driving on the road before it was a path, they were the ones planting the bushes they now tell you are trees. They are the ones handing over the pennies and the paper cranes. What was old is new again. These faculty members didn't just attend the Academy, they have become the Academy. They are the living proof that you can change the pool into a weight room and the blazer into a hoodie, but the soul of the person beneath stays the same. They return to this place because they realize that tradition isn't something you leave behind. It's something you carry with you, and eventually something you come back to lead, to remake for the present. So, here is the truth about Albuquerque Academy at 70 years. The road became a path, the bushes became the trees, the pool became the weight room, the blazers became hoodies, students became teachers, and pennies became, well, we'll have to wait just a few more minutes to find out. If you came here today looking for a static, unchanging institution, you're at the wrong school. We refuse to stay the same because we've learned that it isn't actually about tradition. Tradition is just the habit. What we really have is an ethos. Tradition is the way we do things. Ethos is the why we do them. Tradition is the song we play. Ethos is the reason we dance. The tradition changes, it has to. But the ethos, that spirit of asking hard questions, of solving tough problems, and of being willing to rock around the clock at 8 in the morning, that is the thread that connects 1955 to 2026. Class of 2026. Class of 2026, as you leave this campus, don't worry about holding on to the past. Your job isn't to protect our traditions. Your job is to carry the Academy ethos. Take that curiosity and that grit out into a world that is changing even faster than this campus and show them how to build something new. Change isn't the enemy of our tradition. It is our greatest strength. So let me close by saying, congratulations, parents, faculty, graduates, and staff. This is a day full of joy, full of pride, and yes, full of emotion. To the class of 26, we know you will live lives of meaning and purpose, bringing wisdom, conviction, and compassion to everything that you do. So borrowing the words from my senior English teacher, who ended every class the same way he taught for the 46 years he was in the classroom, go forth and spread beauty and light. You will always be part of the Academy. Now my hands are ready. Let's see what you got for me when we hand you your diploma. Congratulations and happy 70th Academy. It is my great pleasure to introduce two of our student speakers, Elizabeth Wilder and Anaga Devarakonda. Creative ingenuity, enthusiastic learner, a natural philosopher, a powerhouse in class, tenacious, bold, kind, and funny. This is how teachers describe Elizabeth, and I should know, I had the pleasure of teaching her this fall. From the tennis courts to the courtroom, Elizabeth's passion, work ethic, and contagious positivity shine bright. Whether representing classmates as a student officer or performing a guitar solo at assembly, Elizabeth's impact on our Academy community goes beyond the classroom. She is truly a leader amongst her peers and ready to use her education to fulfill the school motto of knowledge for the sake of doing. Now, if you were looking for Annika this past year, you might have found her banging her makeup case as a gavel at rowdy student senate meetings, or speechifying about romantic comedy during speech and debate tournaments. Or perhaps you might have seen her leading the South Asian Affinity Group or taken one of her quizzes she wrote as the editor-in-chief of The Advocate. If you looked for her in the classroom, you'd certainly have heard her teachers praising her dedication and her deep curiosity as a student. Perhaps in a rare moments of downtime, you might have found her laughing with her friends or engrossed in a book. Next year, a new group of students and faculty will fortunate to become acquainted with her kindness and dedication and leadership. Please help me welcome our two commencement speakers, Elizabeth and Annika, to the podium.
Good morning, esteemed faculty and staff, family and friends in class of 2026. Look at us, we did it! Thanks to everyone who supported us, we can now reflect on the past 7 years that have brought us here. And what better way to reflect than through an acronym we seniors know so very well, RULER. Yes, just when you thought you had made your last rush to advisory at 11:05 to sit in a circle and talk about your emotions, I thought this would be a fitting time to redefine it one last time. For those unfamiliar with RULER, it's a program that builds emotional awareness for high schoolers through 5 core skills: recognizing, understanding, labeling, expressing, and regulating. And as our advisors can attest, we have had a great deal of fun over the years discussing these RULER concepts we've grown to love. So now I invite you to join me as I redefine RULER as a measure of how we've spent our time together here at the Academy. Reminiscing, unifying, laughing, empowering, and reimagining. First, let's begin by reminiscing. I still remember being a 6th grader parading up the path for the first time, dressed at convocation, surrounded by towering seniors dressed in all in whites, all while being absolutely petrified by the sheer size of campus. Then, finally, we were the big 9th graders in McKinnon Hall. And just a few months ago, I happened to sit in a McKinnon classroom for the first time in years, and I thought to myself, wow, this place smells like 9th grade. And I think we all know exactly what that means. And each year since then have brought new freedoms and new milestones, study hall becoming a distant memory, senior projects approaching, and finally, this moment. What once felt endless now feels like a patchwork of memories stitched together by friendships and shared experiences that will carry with us forever. Second, let's consider the unifying force of our student body. I would call the class of 2026 a tight-knit community, as I'm sure every single one of us has said at least once during our time here, everybody knows everybody. We know who is always the first and last to get to class, who the notorious pencil thieves are, and who is and who really isn't a Swiftie. Just when I think there's nothing else to possibly learn about someone, they surprise me. Through years of classroom discussions and ping pong games in the Commons, I've concluded that each person here is a unique puzzle piece, and together we form a complete picture. Third, what would our class be without all the laughter we've shared? Like our 7th grade movie night with the sprinkler system with its reclaimed water containing who knows what suddenly turned on and soaked us to our skin. Or the shocking trapeze artistry of Mr. Keevan and Mr. Anderson during the faculty shine. If it's true what they say, that laughter is the best medicine, the Academy has definitely healed us more than we can imagine. Next, I know that I wouldn't be the same person today without the empowerment I've gained from my peers. There is an immense beauty in knowing that we have literally watched each other grow up, from our embarrassing middle school personas to the deeply fascinating and mostly self-assured seniors we are today. We have become stronger and more confident together, and the thought of us leaving and ending our time together leaves us feeling a little weak in the knees. And even though it's strange to think of not seeing each other every day, it's also incredible to think about how we've shaped one another. And as for the final R, now we get to reimagine our lives. And we get to reimagine what they can be as we enter a world that extends beyond this campus. Everything this school has given us, yes, even our weekly ruler lessons, has prepared us for a world beyond the academy. And it feels like yesterday that we walked up the path for the very first time as 11-year-olds, and I am honored to walk that same path with you today as adults. It's certainly bittersweet to close this chapter, but it's also exciting. While we may have no more homecoming skits to enjoy, or no more treks across campus in blustery New Mexico winds, we do have so many more people to meet. Books to read, places to explore, Taylor Swift songs that have yet to be released, and dreams we haven't even discovered yet. So, class of 2026, as I conclude this ruler redo, let's embrace every moment of our last day together, reminiscing, unifying, laughing, empowering, and reimagining. Let's take everything this place has given us, our wisdom, our conviction, and our compassion, and let it guide who we are becoming, and let it guide whatever might come next. Thank you.
Wow. If you had told me 4 years ago that we'd be standing here today, I'd say that is a cliche opening, a speech structure we've kind of memorized at this point, right? But today, I'd like to focus on everything else we memorized in all of our years here. Calculus theorems, poems in English class, the school song, though I don't know if we all did memorize that one. Sorry, Mr. Corbin. And as we gather here at graduation, I'd like to acknowledge all of the lessons we've memorized over the past 7 years as well. To laugh when we fall, to challenge our fixed perceptions, and maybe most important right now, to remember who we grew beside. Because something we memorized that no one told us to was each other. We have collected, since 6th grade, the moments in the classroom and beyond that bind us together. How many people can say that they have a memory tied to every single member of their graduating class? And as I look to the left, I see the people I sang Waka Waka with in 9th grade Spanish with Miss Costa. As I look to the right, I see the kids who I sketched leaf bugs and snakes with in 7th grade science. And there are countless other experiences that I can recount tied to each of you. And I'm sure for all of you, it's no different. Whether that be as small as knowing the way they looked in their face mask in 8th grade, or as big as sleeping on their shoulder on the bus ride back from Arizona, we know each other with a specificity that not even time can take away. And for those of you in the audience, we remember you too. To our teachers, thank you for the countless office hours spent doing retakes, especially bio, and the club times you spent getting pied in the face for our fundraising clubs. And to our families, we remember the way you've stood by us, letting us forge our own ways forward. For us, your support is everything, and it is the reason we're able to reach for what comes next. But as much as the Academy has given us to remember, it has also taught us to think. And as we stand here at our final event ever at this school, I believe it is the greatest thing we will take away from here. We have learned to think critically, to advocate for what we believe in, to use our language in ways that matter, to debate with respect and be willing to see the other perspective, from the 6th grade history classroom all the way to debates in the senior commons. But most importantly, we have learned to never sacrifice the curiosity and the perspectives that we have built for ourselves. Today, we go off into the world to use that thinking, from places as far away as England and Ireland to as close as right here in Albuquerque. The discussions we had around lunch tables, the papers we wrote in humanities classes, and the laughter we shared on the quad have shaped us into the thinkers we are today. And in the future, when we all meet again, we'll remember and reminisce about being told to cheer louder during convocation by Miss Puente every year, about the corny SpongeBob cheer we had to recite at the junior year pep rally, about any one of those personal memories that I can't recite for you because they're yours. But we'll also know that we grew together, that we understood each other, and that we thought together. And as we part ways, that is the best gift we could have given each other for these past 7 years. That is the thing that we'll carry forward. Congratulations, class of 2026. We know each other, we know we've grown, and while we might not know our paths forward just yet, we know we're ready to forge them. Thank you.
Before we begin our presentation of commencement awards, I would like to recognize the Sims family, represented by Dr. and Mrs. Sims' daughter, Maggie Sims, and their granddaughter, Molly Garza, class of 1991. The transformative nature of the Sims family gift has directly affected over 8,000 students and their families, as well as our faculty and staff. We are grateful for the presence of the Sims family today, and we take a moment to reflect on the powerful impact that the Academy has had on us individually, on our city of Albuquerque, and on our magnificent state of New Mexico for 70 years. There is no gift as powerful as the gift of education. The Sims family has modeled the best kind of philanthropic spirit and action. They are a source of continual inspiration. Thank you for joining us today. As is our tradition at commencement, we are proud to present 6 prizes today. First, we will recognize our students with 3 distinct awards. Next, we will present 3 teaching awards to celebrate exemplary classroom instruction and a true spirit of service to the Academy. But before we do so, I'd first like to acknowledge 11 colleagues who are departing from the Academy after lengthy tenures at our school. Katie Dolan, class of 94 and parent of graduate today, 20 years. Sherry Jackson, 21 years. Susan Scarvey, 22 years. Mike Shaw, 23 years. Rich Anderson, 24 years. Rosalinda Rojas, 25 years. Orlando Leba, 26 years. Peter Nash, 33 years. Janet Wilson, 34 years. Cheryl Clemmer, 41 years. And Taryn Batches, 42 years. Their collective tenures represent 311 years of service to Albuquerque Academy. Please stand so we can recognize you. I would now like to ask Associate Head of School Christine Lenhart, class of 94, and a proud parent of the class of 2026, to come to the podium to begin the awarding of our prizes. Christine.
The Class Scholar Award. This award is presented to the graduating senior with the highest weighted GPA. Every time the AAPA hosts a faculty and staff breakfast, there is always an array of delicious food prepared by our parents. But tucked alongside, you will often find a dish prepared by a student who quietly shows his appreciation for his teachers by baking a fresh quiche, a batch of scones, or a breakfast casserole. Without fail, his teachers not only speak about his generosity, but also his curiosity and dedication to being a scholar. He consistently goes far beyond what is required, bringing a careful intellect to everything he pursues. Whether he's staying after class to discuss the latest political news, a novel, or a piece of music, his mind is always at work. He is just as likely to be found polling the student body about vegetarian menu options for the Student Senate as he is pushing his limits to beat his own cross-country times. As we will certainly miss his cooking at the next faculty and staff breakfast, we are eager to see where his curiosity takes him next. Please congratulate our class scholar, Gavin Mitchell. The Academy Award. This award is being presented to a senior who was chosen by the junior and senior classes for qualities of leadership, loyalty, and character. This year's recipient is a student whose leadership is defined by humility, determination, and a genuine care for others. Teachers consistently describe him as a ray of sunshine in the classroom, someone whose warmth, humor, and effortless positivity elevate the experience of everyone around him. He has a rare ability to make his classmates feel seen and valued, bringing people together with great ease. No matter the setting, whether navigating challenges in the classroom or supporting his peers, he is a steady, uplifting, and deeply reliable presence. He is a young man who leads not by demanding the spotlight, but through quiet integrity, unwavering kindness, and a thoughtful engagement with the world around him. He represents the very best of our community's values. We are incredibly proud and honored to present this award to Maz Amur. The Head of School Award. This award is presented to the student who best exemplifies the ideals of Academy through spirit, citizenship, and contribution to the life of the school. Our winner is a student who truly demonstrates a commitment to excellence each day. From the rigor of her academic coursework to the depth of her extracurricular commitments. She does not simply complete tasks. She works hard until she masters them. Every project, assignment, and endeavor is executed with meticulous attention to detail and a profound level of thoughtfulness that sets her apart. When faced with obstacles, she doesn't back down. Instead, she rises to meet every challenge with determination, a rare sophistication, and a steady consistency that her peers and teachers have come to rely on. She sets a high standard of leadership and grace, inspiring those around her. Please welcome back to the stage the 2026 Head of School Award winner, Anaga Devarakonda. The Gage Award. I would like to ask Trudy Gage to join me on stage, Academy's history teacher, winner herself of the Gage Award in 2007, and the wife of Daryl. The Gage Award was established in December 2005 to honor both the longevity of Daryl Gage's service to the Academy and the loving nature of that service. It is awarded annually to a teacher like Daryl who enriches the Academy community through enthusiasm for their discipline, deep devotion to students, care for and loyalty to colleagues, positive work ethic, understanding of the interconnectedness of the school community, and a love of life. Daryl never gave up on a student, and he will never be forgotten by all of those lives who he touched. This year's recipient embodies that very same unforgettable spirit. This educator, quite simply, is a master teacher. Incredibly smart, authentic, and an exceptional listener, she always seems to ask the exact right question at the exact right time. As a beautiful writer with a masterful sense of expression, she brings both artistry and intellect to everything that she undertakes in her professional life. Within the 8-9 hallways, she is a highly sought-after advisor and teacher, a collaborative colleague, and a cherished mentor to her fellow teachers. To truly understand her impact every single day, listen to the words of one of her students. She has this incredible ability to connect with us. I've never had a teacher who can balance being so reasonable and so popular just because of how genuinely nice she is, while still pushing us to get so much work done and running such a successful classroom. This faculty member holds her students to a high standard while providing unwavering support and treating every student with respect and kindness. She demonstrates a true love of life, literature, and learning. This award recipient represents the very best of who we are at Albuquerque Academy, and we are so incredibly grateful to work with her each day. Please join me in celebrating this year's Gage Award with Scotty Buron. The Slevin Award. The next award honors the contributions of Frank Slevin to the students and faculty at Albuquerque Academy. In his 17 years of service as the English department chair, Mr. Slevin balanced rigor with compassion, promoted patient inquiry, and championed graceful expression. A determined generalist who displayed thoroughness and great humor in all he undertook, Mr. Slevin consistently manifested his belief, quality is joy. The award in his memory is given to a teacher nominated by students, faculty, and staff whose contributions resemble those of Mr. Slevin. Warm, thoughtful, and deeply attuned to students, this award recipient has created a classroom that students describe as both intellectually engaging and profoundly supportive. A joyful, focused space where rigor and compassion work hand in hand. Her students know they will be academically challenged, but more importantly, they feel supported, respected, and deeply cared for as individuals. As one colleague noted, what truly sets her apart is the culture that she fosters. Her students feel comfortable opening up to her about their lives, which speaks volumes about the trust that she has established. She consistently encourages us as teachers to center our ideas around students' perspectives and understand the why behind our students' behaviors. As a mentor, she generously shares her wisdom, patiently helping new colleagues navigate the complexities of teaching with humanity. Remarkable in her connection to the community, she seems to know every student on campus, greeting an endless stream of them along the path by name. Her office, stocked with fruit snacks, that's a hint for the students here, is always filled with students asking for help or simply telling her about their days. She reminds us daily that high standards and deep kindness are never opposing forces. There's no one more deserving than this award than Joelle Shaw.
We have one more prize we'd like to announce, and I'd like to ask former Academy English teacher and administrator Stephanie Lipkowitz to join me on the stage for the second awarding of the Stephanie Lipkowitz Endowed Prize for Outstanding Teaching. Here, Stephanie. To reflect Stephanie's lasting influence across all stages and dimensions of a teaching career, up to 3 prizes can be awarded annually. We awarded the Emerging Teaching Prize on awards night last week, and today we are presenting the Master Teacher Prize. The Master Teacher Prize is awarded to an educator who has taught at the Academy for more than 10 years, honoring their enduring impact to students, colleagues, and the broader school community. This year's recipient is someone who quite simply loves schools and, more importantly, really loves kids. With her signature tagline, "I'm happy to help," she has shaped our institutional systems and academic curriculum and provided vital mentorship and a clear, forward-thinking vision. She is omnipresent on campus. There isn't a corner of life at the Academy she hasn't made better. She is exceptionally child-centered in everything she does. In the classroom and as a leader, she strikes a beautiful balance. She is formidable, courageous, and tough, holding those around her to the highest standards. And she is deeply caring, incredibly protective, and utterly genuine. Her impact is no secret to the student body either. In fact, every single year that I've been at the Academy, students have nominated her for a teaching prize. And to be honest, I strongly suspect they were doing it long before I ever got here too. She always makes time for them, regardless of how busy she might be. And students feel her absolute full attention and deep care in every conversation. I happen to know all of this better than anyone else here today, because every day I have the privilege of sharing an office with her. I have a front row seat to her dedication, her intellect, and her enormous heart. She is an extraordinary teacher, an exceptional administrator, and to me, a trusted partner and friend. Please join me in honoring this year's Stephanie Lipkowitz Master Prize Award recipient, Dr. Christine Lenhart. we look at our commencement speaker today, we see a visionary pioneer at the absolute forefront of scientific innovation. But long before he was a global leader, he was just an academy kid with a massive curiosity about the natural world. In fact, our 8-9 division head, Elizabeth Payne, was in his class at the academy. She vividly remembers attending his middle school birthday party, where a young Jake very proudly showed off his prized possession to her, a reptile in a terrarium. That early love of science and discovery never faded, and neither did his drive to lead. By his senior year, Jake was serving as one of the captains of our football team, and he was a relay specialist on our track and field team that won 3 state titles. Coach Kedge wrote me yesterday that Jake was part of the 4x200 medley relay that set a school record in 2004 that stood for 20 years until it was broken just a few years ago. In the yearbook, he anchored his mindset in a powerful quotation by General Douglas MacArthur. On the fields of friendly strife are sown the seeds that on other days and other fields will bear the fruits of victory. Graduates, the seeds that Jake sowed in our classrooms and on our athletic fields did exactly that. He took that foundational academy spark and carried it all the way to MIT, where he earned his PhD in nuclear engineering. Today, he is the co-founder and CEO of Oklo, a revolutionary clean energy company that is quite literally reshaping how we power our planet. In an inspiring example of the very teamwork he learned on this campus, it is a vision he built from the ground up in collaboration with his wife and co-founder, Caroline. Together, they have turned cutting-edge science into a powerhouse enterprise. From a middle school reptile enthusiast and varsity football captain to an elite MIT scientist and brilliant entrepreneur, Jake is living proof of exactly where an academy education can take you. Please join me in welcoming back one of our very own, Dr. Jake DeWitt.
Thank you so much, and good morning, class of 2026. To the faculty and staff who poured yourselves into this class, to the families who gave so much, and to the students graduating today, congratulations. It's a team effort to get to this point. I was pretty struck, frankly, by the student accomplishments that Julianne listed today. That's very phenomenal work. There's one that really clearly stood out to me, and I want to make sure you come find me. Whoever worked at Los Alamos on nuclear reactor design, find me, please. We are hiring. We are hiring. It's a blessing to be here today. It's pretty fun to be able to be back sort of on the same stage, I guess, next to with one of my own classmates, Mrs. Liz Payne, who graduated class of '04. And when I was speaking with some classmates that I was going to be speaking at commencement today, I was reminded that in the spirit of Coach Carroll, who joined us here, who's my football coach, to strive for brevity. So I will at least try for that. Because this day is not about me. It's a true blessing and honor to be here, but it's really about everyone here. It's about you, the graduates. It's about the families and everyone who invested in getting you all here today. To the parents and families in these seats, thank you. And to the graduates, thank them, and thank them relentlessly this summer, because this is maybe one of the more unique summers you will ever have between your senior year of high school and what takes you to what's next. So thank them constantly. Accordingly, my parents are here, so Mom and Dad, thank you for sending me here. And this day is also about the faculty and staff at the Academy who sit in front of me today. Some of the people who shape me most are actually here today. Coach Carroll, Coach Kedge, Coach Mike, Mr. Back, Mr. Pecknick, Doc Field, Mr. Vraspear, Doc Vraspear, Mrs. Wilson, Mr. Figueroa, Mr. Deneen, Mr. Smith. And if I didn't see you, come find me because I'd love to talk to you. But thank you all for all of what you did for me, for Liz, for all the students here and all the ones that came between us and them and before us. From the classroom to the athletic fields, the music rehearsals, to the football games, even detention. Yes, Mom and Dad, I was in detention more than once. The lessons I learned here built the foundations I still build upon every day. Thank you for putting so much into all of us. And graduates, thank them today, and thank them often in the future. Come back and do that. And make sure to thank your teachers who are still intimidating to you today, looking out on them. That doesn't change. They still strike a little bit of fear in me, some of you. I won't say who. But it's true. And thank you for creating a commanding and challenging environment that helped us all flourish and grow, even if it was really hard. Because guess what? Life is not easy. And thank you, Julianne, for this opportunity and for your leadership at this phenomenal institution. It means more than I can say. Now on to a few things that I reflected on about when I was putting these remarks together that were sort of lessons learned from my time here that I thought were pretty useful as I've thought about my life to date. 22 years ago, I sat in those very seats and had some perspectives that at the time I think proved out mostly wrong, some right. But there's a few things that really stood out to me as I was looking back. First of all, the world is changing rapidly. That's not new. It always has been. It's probably an exponential rate of change, and our brains can't really keep up with that. But you know what? That's okay. Because the world actually isn't changing. We're just learning more about it. And now we have more tools that are more accessible than ever to make creating and building and living much easier. A lot changed during my time at the Academy. Literally, first time sending emails. Text messages, first text messages. Going from analog phones to digital cell phones. Sounds funny. Going across Academy to Blockbuster to rent movies, to watch them. Even the first iPod. But some things definitely remain the same, but with a pace of adaptation and evolution. Going to Dion's for Friday off-campus lunch. I hope some of you did that. I think that's probably still a good thing. Okay. A beautiful campus that's not static. It's growing and changing and needs to do that, but is always beautiful. Winning state championships in track and field yet again this year. Congratulations. Even if it wasn't this class, but 2 years ago broke my record. But my name was still on the plaque a couple weeks ago, so. And the incredible education and training this place provides. Change is the constant, but we adapt, we learn, we advance, and you are way more prepared than you realize, even for more change than you realize. And the reason why is because you have certain fundamentals that this place taught you, and that's really the ability to learn how to learn. So let's talk about that. When I sat where you're sitting, I thought, okay, I'd gotten a great education, I was prepared, I was ready, I was partly right, I was a lot wrong, because what the really important things were to me was that what I learned here was not the things I learned here, but how to learn. You learned how to sit with a problem that doesn't yield, how to read something you didn't understand and read it again, maybe and again and again, slower, more carefully until something cracks open, how to ask a question in a room full of people that might think it's silly or maybe even think it's dumb, but ask it anyway. Learning how to learn sounds simple, maybe even cheesy, but it's one of the rarest and most durable things a human being can possess. The facts you memorized, most will probably fade, and that's okay, that's supposed to happen. But the process to learn, that's what's supposed to stick with you. The capacity you built, the habit of mind, the tolerance for difficulty and willingness to start over when something doesn't work, that is yours forever. Don't lose it, grow it, because it doesn't expire, it compounds. And whatever you go on to do, whether it be engineering, medicine, law, raising children, teaching, starting companies, doing things that don't exist yet, you will return to these fundamentals constantly of learning how to learn, learning how to think, learning how to challenge. When things get hard, they definitely will, these are the things that will carry you forward. As a silly example, not necessarily maybe the best one, but it was a good example of learning, Mr. Smith and Doc Braspier taught me calculus and multivariate calculus so well that I was able to learn that I could skip all my college classes on the subject, just do the homeworks and pass the exams and get a great grade in the course, and use that time to learn other things that were more relevantly interesting to my career path. By the way, one big lesson that's hard to learn, you're going to mostly have worse teachers from here on out. Sorry to say, but it's a fact. So, on to friends. Look around you all right now. I even have one that graduated with me on this stage with me. These people right here, right now, you will never quite find a group like this one for the rest of your life. You'll look and you'll search and you'll find other great ones, but not quite the same. And I say that from experience, and it's one of the highest compliments you can pay to what happens when young people spend time in a great place like this. Your friendships here were forged when you were still becoming you, and that means you know each other in a way that no one else ever will. And you'll make wonderful new friends and family members, even find potential spouses and partners and have children and start companies and do all these great things together. Through college, through careers, through life, they will bring people into your world who matter deeply. Hold on to them, but please don't let the friendships here quietly expire because people got busy, because the group chat went quiet, because it's been too long till you chatted. Reach out anyway. Go on the trip, show up to the wedding, go to the graduation, show up for the hard thing. Friendships require that investment, keep doing it. Accordingly, that kind of investment also plays over to giving back. We all stand here thanks to many who came before us, including, of course, the Sims family. The Academy provides a quality of instruction that you really can't find anywhere else. It's a breadth of opportunity and an expectation that you are capable of true excellence. Very few students anywhere get to experience this. And you may not know it, you may know it, you may grow accustomed to it, but do not take it for granted. So give back here. When you can, give a little, give a little. When you can, give a lot, give a lot. I wasn't exactly told that when I graduated. I wish I was, so I'm saying that today. You should mentor, you should speak here, you should come back, you should visit with your teachers, visit with the students. The accumulation of people who love this institution and invest in it is what makes it possible for the next class and the next and the next to have what we all have had. And this spirit extends beyond the academy to everything you do. Do that. The world gets better because people give it forward. But don't do that for vanity. Do it because it matters. And accordingly, with what matters, one thing I'll highlight is for the past few years and for the next few years, maybe longer, you're going to care a lot about your grades, your accomplishments, your resumes, the things that have been the metrics of success to today and forward. But what I want to say is encourage you to use your skills, your tools, what you've learned here, your work ethic, which is phenomenal, by the way. Maybe not your parking skills, but that's a different issue. And your passions to work on the things you love. Keep doing that. And when you do that, you'll position yourself to do things that really, really matter. And that will be the only resume that actually matters. So do these things relentlessly and be relentless in what you pursue. It's incredible what you can achieve when you put that extra work in. That's something I learned here through sports and through academia. But when you wake up earlier, you stay up later, you log every extra hour or even minute you can in what you do to outwork what is otherwise impossible, it's amazing what you can do. The world constantly tells you to become more successful, more attractive, more productive, more optimized to something. Sometimes you just have to become better at being yourself. And just a little side note, you're almost never, ever, ever going to be asked about your GPA a few years after college. So breathe easy. It doesn't matter too much. On that front, there's another part of this, which is asking and daring to do things that otherwise feel impossible. This was something that always drove me, and I've been excited and blessed to have opportunities to actually do things that people said were impossible. So I want to say that because there's a particular kind of dream that most people quietly abandon sometime between their childhood and their adulthood. Not because they stop wanting it, but because the world is really efficient at teaching people what is and what isn't realistic, what's been tried before, what sensible people actually pursue. I want to speak directly to the people here who have one or more of these dreams. For those of you who feel something pulling at you, some idea that sounds too big, some problem that everyone agrees is unsolvable, or some ambition you've maybe only said once out loud, if you've ever even said it out loud at all. Go for that ambition and that dream. Without caveats, without qualifications, go for it. The world will give you 1,000 reasons, maybe 1,000,000 reasons, maybe 1,000,000,000 reasons not to. It will dress those reasons up in the language of wisdom and pragmatism and experience. Some of those reasons will be worth hearing. But most of them will honestly be fear. They will be other people's fear handed to you as advice. Don't let that stop you. In preparing these remarks, it struck me that my grandparents were your age when the neutron was first discovered. The science and physics of it I work on every day in nuclear technology was wholly unknown to them when they sat where you're sitting. The things that feel impossible in 2026 will be ordinary in 2056, and somebody is going to do them. There's no reason, none, that somebody cannot be you, each and every one of you. Later this summer, we will celebrate the 250th birthday of the United States of America. 250 years ago, the founders of this nation were largely in their very early 20s, not much older than you, by the way, and they dreamed of founding a nation that challenged paradigms of world order, and they did it. There's really nothing that's truly impossible, except the laws of physics that limit us to those things, for what we know now. So finally, commencement means beginnings. This is not an ending, you know that. But let me say something real quick about beginnings. Beginnings are disorienting. I remember that feeling when I went to college for the first time, and they can be hard. Next fall, many of you will find yourselves in new places, surrounded by strangers, doing hard things without the scaffolding you didn't even realize you had here. There will be moments where you wonder if you're ready. That's okay. But in those moments, come back to the fundamentals, the things you learned, the things you forged, how to work, how to study, how to learn, how to think. You've been prepared more thoroughly than you realize for exactly this. So go forward and do so with confidence, with zest, with enthusiasm, and with relentlessness. And rely on friends, family, and faith. Those are the most important things that will push you through some of those times. And remember this place, not only with nostalgia, but with the quiet pride that fuels you. You come from something great. Carry that forward. So class of 2026, you are in fact ready, including for me to be done speaking, but also for what's next. So this is your beginning. Make us proud, and go Chargers. Thank you, Liz, of course. Thank you.
I don't know, you tell me. Oh, no, Diane. Picture. Yeah, yeah. Thank you so much, Jake, for your words. My name is Diane Harrison Ogawa, and I am currently the chair of the Board of Trustees. I am also a past parent of 2 Academy alums. It's been my great honor to volunteer for the Academy for more than 20 years. Today, I join a terrific group of trustees who are dedicated to supporting the mission of our school. Many of them are here today, and I would love to ask them to stand and be recognized for their service to the Albuquerque Academy. Thank you. On behalf of the Board of Trustees, I want to thank all of you, families, friends, alumni, faculty, and staff, for your support of these incredible students and of the Academy. I especially want to thank our head of school, Julianne Puente, and the extraordinary faculty and staff who daily go above and beyond. We see the impact of their investment in these young people in countless ways. Academy graduates across the globe are actively tackling the issues of our day and making our world better. I know these soon-to-be graduates will do the same. They will represent the Academy well and will make enormous impact as they serve and lead in their communities with wisdom, conviction, and compassion. It is my delight to say, by the power vested in me by the Board of Trustees of the Albuquerque Academy, I hereby declare that the members of the class of 2026 have fulfilled all applicable requirements and are now to be forever known as graduates of the Albuquerque Academy. Congratulations and go Chargers!
All right, let's do this. Before we award the diplomas, I would like to ask our faculty and staff who work at the Academy and have children in the class of 2026 to gather near the appropriate risers so you can accompany your graduate to the stage and assist in awarding of their diplomas. Class of 2026, please prepare to receive your diplomas. Maz Ahmed, cum laude. It's a baby goat. She's very pleased. Hunter Sean Aim. Holly Sophia Andrews, cum laude. Hayden Shea Archuleta. Staff member Casey Archuleta will assist in awarding the diploma. Elliot Max Baca. Faculty member Samuel Baca will assist in awarding the diploma. Isaac James Baca. Riley Marie Baca. Go ahead and, yep. Isabella Patricia Barnes. Jessie Jasmine Becerra. Ronan Chongming Becker. Safira Yeonming Becker. Antonella Michelle Begay, trustee Nota Begay, will assist in awarding the diploma. Emrys Elaine Bent. Jordan Cassidy Szymanski Berg. Jane Rose Belayetz, cum laude. Faculty member Helen Belayetz will assist in awarding the diploma. Amelia Suzanne Bosch. Miles Nate Brady. Chelsea Isabella Brody, cum laude. Zachary Vigil Brown. Naomi Rose Brundage. Trustee Christy Brundage will assist in awarding the diploma. Wyatt Brenarski. Lane Cooper Buchanan. Alexander Stanley Bird. Kiana Ree Salas Cabrera. Shepherd Rios Camp. Jamelyn D'Amica Candelaria. Justin Michael Caperton. Ella Sol Carrasco McQuitty. Hannah Marie Non Saransky, cum laude. Parker Sandra Channon. Diego Adam Chavez. Rio Rosendo Chavez. Annalise Mia Cheshire. Jolene Layla Cole-Hope. Nika Anise Kompani Tabrizi. Gage Malone Conway. Anaga Nagasai Devarakonda, cum laude. Elizabeth Catherine Dolan. Faculty member Katie Dolan will assist in awarding the diploma. Monica Sofia Dominguez. Quinn Allen Dwangpanya. Stephanie Corinne Dracup. Claudia and Dragon Gutierrez. Faculty member Cathan Dragon Gutierrez will assist in awarding the diploma. Rosa Ren Duval, cum laude. Anastasia Catherine Edwards. Benjamin Paul Ellison. Cole Jaden Foster, cum laude. Landon Joseph Fout. Michael Robert Franco. Abraham Hawks Gerstein. Hugh Arthur Gerstein. Logan Reese Gilmore. Selah Jean Gloyd. Faculty member Peter Gloyd will assist in awarding the diploma. Briggs Irving Greenbaum. Leo Candola Griscom, cum laude. Carlos Alberto Gutierrez, cum laude. Theodore Rafael Gutierrez. Alex Ray Haskins. Sophia Soleil Hassey. Anna Lilia Hastings, cum laude. Nathaniel Xavier Hayes. Isla Shade Corinne Herndon. Elliot John Hickey, cum laude. Spencer Tripp Heil. Adrian Singh Herodovich. Violet Pauline Horvath. Jian Kwok Huang. Joshua Antonio James. Brennan Lance Johnson. Chase Paul Jones. Staff member Jessica Jones will assist in awarding the diploma. Addison Marin Julian. Sunshine Bella Kay. Andrew Michael Keevan. Faculty member Mark Keevan will assist in awarding the diploma. Grace Marie Naus. Faculty member Dina Naus will assist in awarding the diploma. Sydney Ann Karani. Aiden Kudelka. Ashton James Kramer. William Aldo Landau, cum laude. Jinyu Lee. Christopher James Ledger, cum laude. Andrew John Lenhart. Faculty member Christine Lenhart will assist in awarding the diploma. Oh boy. Bonnie Yushin Lee. Claire Sahi Lim, cum laude. Alexis Maya Lemery, cum laude. Kai Patrick Linares Baca. Kira Mia Lopez. Leah Faith Lopez. Michael James Lucero. Camilla Grace Lujan, cum laude.
Joshua Ting An Ma. Timoteo Cruz Maes. Dana Eloisa Manriquez. Ian Cole Marin, cum laude. JC Amara Marquez, cum laude. Mateo Roberto Martinez. James Oliver Maddox. Noah Maurice McCabe. Caleb Cooper McCracken. Faculty member Matt McCracken will assist in awarding the diploma. Leonardo Archimedes McGuire. Jacob Wolf McMahon Wooten. Noah Dewan Menke. Valerie Ann Meza. Kayla Imani Miller. Gavin Mitchell, cum laude. Vidit Irvij Modia. Conrad Mingzua Mannheimer Shah. Danielle Aya Moore, cum laude. Tristan Fox Moorish. Saviana Justicia Moya. Zoe Isadora Munson. Ethan Jacob Myers, cum laude. Carolyn Huang Win. Brian Ikechi Nana. Kai Lucian Noyes. Atia Julie Olson. Calvin Dean Olson. Jaden Trigby Olson. Lauren Madison Pacheco. Anna Alice Patelli, cum laude. Jameson Reed Paternoster. Cole Alexander Patterson. Olivia Lane Patton. Noelle Eve Peralta. Kate Jocelyn Peterson. Valentina Masai Pinto. Brooke Rosalie Ponte. Nicholas Robert Ponte. Dana Poon. Alexander David Pushkar. Faculty member Deanna Pushkar will assist in awarding the diploma. Danica Ray Drew Quintana. Gabriela Lucia Reyes, cum laude. Staff member Adrian Reyes will assist in awarding the diploma. Eli Andres Reyes Morris. Isaiah Mariano Rivera. Isaac William Romero. Caden Alexander Ross, cum laude. Hayden Brooke Roth. Alexander Justo Saiz. Harrison Richard Sheik, cum laude. Addison Joe Scrivener. Zoe Leah Simon. Philip Alexander Skarbeck-Borowski, cum laude. Limited Scope Trustee George Skarbeck-Borowski will assist in awarding the diploma. Joshua Andrew Tolef Skarsgård. Hagen Smith, cum laude. Jasper Smith. Evie Soul, cum laude. Ava Lynn Spinato. Adeline Louisa Doolin Spratley. William Roland Squire. Nicholas Tyrone Stacy. Riley Paul Stanford. Tatsuya Ryo Suga. Dylan John Taylor. Madeline Elizabeth Taylor. Estella Louise Thompson. Finn Dominic Thompson. Marcelo Grant Toan, cum laude. Shane Carly Torres Tijerina. Jonah Ryan Trujillo. Arush Mohan Tutiki, cum laude. Brian Andrew Valdez. Liliana Marie Varley. Connell Reese Verley. Benjamin Fred Volk, cum laude. Vince Vuong. Zachary Stephen Waghorn. Grace Ann Wasco Bauman. Grace Delaney Wesovich. Jaden Lily Witten. Jacqueline Liang Weimery. Nagi Wig. Elizabeth Constance Wilder. Ryan Gregory Williams. Ethan Shia, cum laude. Sophia Pearl Yazi. Isa Zamanian. Duan Grace Jung, cum laude. I will now ask the class of 2026 to please rise. Class of 2026. You are now graduates of the Albuquerque Academy. Please move your tassel from the right to the left. Families, staff, faculty, and friends, I present to you the newest graduates of the Albuquerque Academy.
day.